Right now, as you watch this, entire galaxies are disappearing. Not exploding. Not dying. Simply drifting beyond the edge of what we can ever see. Forever. And there is nothing we can do about it. We just cannot reach them. Not with our telescopes. Not with our fastest ships. Not now. Not in 1,000 years. Not ever. Not with time itself. Tonight, we find out why. Please, take a seat in the red chair and imagine this, because what we are about to explore together cannot be rushed. It needs to be felt, slowly, in silence, with the stars above you. But before we can feel what that truly means, we need to go on a journey, not because the numbers matter, but because without them, the loss has no weight. Imagine being told that an entire city disappeared overnight. If you have never walked its streets, never felt how alive it is, the words mean nothing. But if you have stood in the middle of it, felt how small you are within it, then the silence where it once stood is unbearable. That is what we must do first. Build it in your mind before we take it away. So that when we finally reach the edge and look at what lies beyond it, you will not just understand it, you will feel it. Right now above you, above the clouds, above the atmosphere, there are stars, hundreds of billions of them. And some of those stars have been sending their light toward you since before anyone you have ever known was born. That light left its source long ago. It traveled through the cold darkness of space for hundreds, even thousands of years, crossing a distance so vast that it began its journey in a world that no longer exists. And tonight, it reaches your eyes. You are seeing the past. But here is the thing that stops me every single time I think about it. Some of those stars no longer exist. They burned for millions of years. They collapsed. They died centuries ago, maybe far longer. And yet, their light is still here, still traveling, still reaching us. When you look up at a star, you may be looking at a ghost, a memory of something that is already gone. The universe does not send us the present. It sends us echoes. Now I want to show you something, not just tell you how big the universe is, but help you feel it. Because the numbers involved are so extreme that the human mind simply refuses to hold them. So let us start small. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep counting, all the way to 480. One number per second. 8 full minutes of counting. That is how long light needs to travel from the surface of the sun, all the way to you. Every ray of sunlight that has ever warmed your face made that 8-minute journey through empty space. Now imagine walking. A single step takes roughly 1 second. To walk from the Earth to the Sun at that pace would take approximately 6,000 years. Without stopping, without sleeping, without ever pausing to rest. And the Sun is our nearest star. Around it, a handful of worlds, some scorched, some frozen, all of them silent. And on a few distant moons, beneath shells of ice, scientists believe there are hidden oceans. Could something be alive out there? We do not yet know. And all of it orbits a single, ordinary star. Our star. And our star is only the beginning. The next nearest star beyond our Sun is called Proxima Centauri. It is 4.24 light-years away. In those same walking steps, it would take over 1.6 billion years to arrive. 1.6 billion years of walking to reach the closest star, the first step beyond our Sun. Let that number sit for a moment. 1.6 billion years to reach the nearest star, the easy one. There is a point where numbers stop meaning anything, where they cross over into something else, something almost absurd. Your mind cannot hold 1.6 billion years. Mine cannot either. No human mind that has ever existed could. We can write the number down, we can say it out loud, but we cannot feel it. And that failure, that quiet collapse at the edge of understanding, is the first honest glimpse of how vast this truly is. We do not meet the universe when we understand it. We meet it the moment we admit that we never will. And our galaxy, the Milky Way, stretches 100,000 light-years from edge to edge, 100,000 years even for light. When that light began its journey across our galaxy, there were no cities, no farms, no villages, no written word, no memory kept for those who would come after. Only small groups of humans, gathered around their fires in the dark. The Milky Way contains 400 billion stars. Let us count them. At one number per second, that count would take 12,000 years. All of recorded human history, repeated twice, just to count the stars in our own galaxy. And our Sun is just one of them. If the entire Milky Way were a continent, our solar system would be smaller than a grain of sand. Within that grain of sand, on a tiny rock orbiting that one star, every human being who has ever lived, loved, dreamed, suffered, and hoped has spent their entire existence. And the Milky Way is not alone. On a clear, moonless night, if you know where to look, you can see our nearest neighboring galaxy with your naked eye. A faint smear of light in the constellation Andromeda. That smear of light is an entire galaxy, 2.5 million light-years away. When that light left Andromeda, our ancestors were not yet who we are. They had not yet learned to make fire. That light would cross the dark for another million years before we ever lit one of our own. They looked up at the same sky and did not yet know what they were looking at. That ancient light has been traveling toward you for 2.5 million years, and it reaches your eye tonight. Think about what that means. Everyone you have ever loved, everyone you have ever lost, Your whole life, every joy, every grief, every ordinary afternoon you will never remember. All of it fits inside a single blink of the time that light has been traveling. It left before we had names, before we had a single word for the sky. It crossed an ocean of darkness so wide that it began its journey toward no one and arrives tonight as a gift received by you. And here is something we rarely say out loud. That galaxy does not know you are watching. It never will. The light reaching you tonight left before you were born and will keep traveling long after you are gone, completely indifferent to whether anyone was ever here to catch it. Everything you are building, everything you are afraid to lose, your name, your work, the people you would die for, from out there, it is already too small to see. It always was. And yet, you are the thing that looked up. Hold on to that. We will come back to it. Because looking up was never enough for us. We wanted to see further than our own eyes could reach. So, together, we built better ones. 30 years ago, we pointed one of them, the Hubble Space Telescope, toward a patch of sky that looked completely empty. Not because it held something interesting, but because it seemed to hold almost nothing at all. Imagine holding a grain of sand at arm's length. The tiny patch of sky hidden behind it is roughly what we chose to examine. And for 10 consecutive days, Hubble stared into that darkness, collecting every faint photon arriving from the depths of space. What emerged would change everything. As the image slowly assembled, the darkness began to fill, not with stars, with galaxies. Thousands of them. Where astronomers expected emptiness, they found entire cosmic islands, each one containing millions, billions, or even trillions of stars. Every single point of light in that image was not a star. It was an entire galaxy, an island universe, a collection of hundreds of billions of suns. And what looked like empty space was anything but empty. But even that was not enough. We wanted to see further, deeper, closer to the very beginning of time. So we spent more than a generation building a single eye, the James Webb Space Telescope. It took so long to build that some of the people who began it knew they would never live to see what it found. They worked on it anyway, laying a foundation for eyes that were not yet born. It was too large to launch in one piece, so they folded it, like origami. They sent it somewhere no one could ever follow. Almost 1 million miles from home. So far that no human hand could ever reach it again. Hundreds of moving parts had to unfold perfectly, one after another. If a single one failed, there would be no second chance. No repair, only silence. It was launched. And then it was alone. For weeks, it unfolded itself in the cold and the dark, step by step, far beyond our reach, and every single step worked. On July 12th, 2022, Webb sent back its first images, and scientists who had dedicated decades of their lives to this moment wept, not from relief, from what they saw. And in a few moments, you will see it too. The very thing that brought them to tears. Webb was not just a new telescope. It was humanity's furthest eye, our deepest reach into the unknown. And what it found changed everything we thought we knew. Galaxies more ancient, more complex, more complete than our models predicted. As if the early universe had grown up faster than it should have. It reminded us of something important. The deeper we look, the more mysteries we find. The observable universe is not becoming simpler as we study it. It is becoming stranger. For the last few minutes, I have been speaking, filling the silence with words, with numbers, with comparisons. Because that is what we do. We try to make the universe small enough to hold. But some things cannot be made small. So in a moment, I am going to stop talking. And I am going to show you a few of them. Not paintings, not imaginings, not a single pixel invented. Every one of them is real. Real light from real places that actually exist, captured by telescopes built by human hands. And I want you to hold one thought as you look. These images did not come easily. They cost decades, billions, whole careers spent in the dark, by people who knew they might not live to see the result. Some of them didn't. Every photograph you're about to see is the answer to a question someone gave their life to ask. So when they appear, don't just watch them. Receive them. Some of what you will see is so far away that the light reaching you left before the Earth had formed. Some of it is a single galaxy, turning in the dark. And some of it is a place where stars are being born, right now. I could put names and numbers on each one, but that would only make them smaller. So I won't. Just look. Let each one be as vast as it actually is. This is the universe, not a story about it. The thing itself. Take a breath. You don't have to hold all of that. No one can. What you just saw is real, and it is still out there. Right now, in this moment, while you sit here, And here's what I find almost impossible to believe. Every one of those images was made by us, by a species small enough to fit in a chair on a quiet night under the stars. We could not travel to those places. So we built eyes that could. If a single tiny patch of sky contains thousands of galaxies, how many galaxies exist within the entire observable universe? Current estimates suggest hundreds of billions. Now multiply hundreds of billions times hundreds of billions. The number you reach is greater than every grain of sand, on every beach, every desert, every shore, on the entire Earth. It is a number so large that it stops being a number at all. It becomes something closer to a feeling, the feeling of standing at the edge of something, so vast that it does not even know you are looking. Many with their own planets, some, perhaps, with their own oceans, their own skies, their own moonlit nights. And around every one of those stars, the same physics applies, the same laws, the same possibilities. Now, here is the moment I want you to really feel. The universe is expanding, right now, in every direction. Space itself is stretching, and the farther away a galaxy is from us, the faster it is moving away. Not because it is rushing through space, but because the space between us and it is growing. Beyond a certain distance, galaxies are being carried away from us, faster than the speed of light. Not breaking the laws of physics. The laws of physics allow space itself to expand at any rate. Only matter moving through space is limited to light speed, but the result is the same. Light from those galaxies will never reach us. No matter how long we wait, no matter how powerful our telescopes become, no matter how advanced our civilization grows, there are stars out there that we will never see. Places that exist that will forever remain invisible to us. Entire galaxies, entire histories, perhaps entire civilizations, hidden behind the edge of what the universe is willing to show us. We have a name for this boundary: the cosmic horizon. It is not a wall. It is not a physical barrier. It is simply the edge of what the laws of time and light allow us to know. Beyond it, the universe continues, perhaps forever. But we will never know what is there. The observable universe may be only a small illuminated island, surrounded by a vast cosmic ocean we cannot see. And if that is true, then the greatest discovery in astronomy may not be what we have found, but what remains hidden. The cosmic horizon is the first horizon humanity will never cross. We have crossed oceans. We have climbed mountains. We have left our planet and walked on the moon. But this boundary is different. It is not a challenge to overcome. It is a fundamental limit of reality itself, and it humbles us in a way nothing else can. And here is the thought most people spend their whole lives avoiding. The universe is not hiding any of this from you out of cruelty. Cruelty would at least mean it noticed you. It doesn't. You were never part of the equation. The stars did not switch on for you. The light did not cross all this distance for you. In 13 billion years of cosmic history, nothing out there has ever known your name, and nothing ever will. You are a guest who arrived for a single evening in a house that has stood for an eternity, and it will stand unchanged long after the door closes quietly behind you. Let that sit for a moment. Do not look away from it, because something is about to turn. We return to the chair, to the small light of the lantern, to the warmth of this quiet place. And perhaps something has shifted, because when you understand, truly understand, how vast this universe is, how ancient, how indifferent, something unexpected happens. Everything here feels more precious, not less. The fact that life exists at all, in this cold and ancient darkness, is not ordinary. It is extraordinary beyond all calculation. And now, the turn I promised you. Look at what you were doing. Right now. A small, warm, temporary thing. Made of the very same dust as those distant stars, sitting in a red chair on a quiet night. Looking up, wondering, feeling something it cannot even name. The universe did not need a witness. It did not need anyone to see it. For 13 billion years, no one did. And yet, here you are. After all that time, the cosmos opened a single pair of eyes and looked at itself. That is you. You were never too small to matter. You are the universe, finally awake, for one brief, impossible moment, looking back at where it came from. And nothing, not the distance, not the darkness, not the edge we can never cross, can ever take that away from you. There are stars we will never see, galaxies that exist beyond our reach forever. But the stars we can see have been traveling toward us since before we existed. As if the universe knew that one day, something would be here to receive them. Stay as long as you like. The chair is yours. The sky is infinite. And tonight, you are part of it. If this journey meant something to you, if you felt even for a moment the quiet enormity of what surrounds us, then stay. The red chair will be here. And there are many more journeys ahead. Subscribe. Not for the algorithm, but because the universe has more to show us. And we are only just beginning.